get started with this what if in this another video. I got XSV and your boy Unknown here.
Unknown.
It's been a minute since we put a video out, but it's all right. It happens. Things in life get a little bit hectic. But other than that, for those who are watching, we appreciate y'all stopping by and checking this video out. Tonight's what if, or video what if. So the what if is, what if Asta was born in the land of the rising sun?
Uh, I don't know because right now he knows ski, right? Asta knows ski,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went to the Rising Sun's kingdom or place where he met Yami's sister.
Well, we know this. We know from the manga. We know not with the actual anime, but we know with the
Yeah,
manga, it carried on. We know, and we know that he ended up having a big battle, and then he ended up being transported there to the land of rising sun. To him waking up and being on this whole new area, this whole land, and not realizing what is going on.
well, he got isekai. We all know it.
Well, yeah, yeah, but with this what if is it what if he was born there and having some kind of plot towards this what if, you know, being born there, Asta's parents being from there. We know from the manga it's much different. We know we kind of figure out who his mom and who his dad is, kind of have a grasp on, his let's say lineage basically, and
Yeah.
how him ending up at the orphanage of, in the Clover Kingdom. But this going back to Land of the Rising Sun, him being born there, his parents being there, and then of course we know Asta has no magic abilities, he has no special traits, no talents, no nothing, right? He doesn't even get a grimoire. We know from the anime and manga, he didn't even get a grimoire, right? It wasn't until he literally told himself he was going to get a grimoire, he was going to work at it, and eventually he got a grimoire, and he got a cool
Yeah.
sword from it that has anti-magic, of course. But he had to work to wield this sword and everything, be super buff, basically, almost like a My Hero Academia, how Deku had to train to perform and
Yeah.
sculpt his body to be able to accept that kind of quirk. You know what I mean?
Imagine will
Something
break in
similar
pieces.
like that. Yeah. So his parents are born there. He doesn't have any magic abilities. They know that he's not going to be the great. And let's say people are after him to kill him because they know that either he has this ability or he has this understanding of key, and he has this really strong key. And they're like, we got to get rid of him because he could be a threat, you know. And being from the land of the rising sun, it's they have the Yami clan there, right? They have members of the Yami clan that are hired to take Asta out as a child, right? As a baby, right? And his parents find out and they decide they want to leave, right? So they say for him to have a better life, they need to leave the land of the rising sun and go to one of the kingdoms, right? So they decided they wanted to go to the Clover Kingdom because of the Wizard King, right? And of course, the Clover Kingdom being like one of the best kingdoms in that area, right? So they're in the process of leaving. Now we know from the backstory and all that stuff, we know that Yami, which is Yami, is from the land of the rising sun, right? We know
Yeah.
that he came from there and he left there for his reasons. He left, he didn't like it, but he left and he ended up washing ashore the Clover Kingdom. And that's where his story begins with being part of the Clover Kingdom and where it leads up to where he becomes a captain of the Black Bulls, of course. But back on Asta, now his parents are there. Yami clan's after them. They know they're there, and the Yami clan are basically trying to kill him. And then they end
But
up
why? Why they want to kill him?
because because he has this ability. There's like this key that they see. He's like super strong and he's a threat, right?
Why they not just trying to train him?
Because I think, to me, I would think that they saw him as like this I would say this evil entity, basically, right? And they're looking to eliminate this threat.
How? He has no magic.
That's the thing. Remember, where Yami comes from, they all see Ki, right?
Yes.
That's how they conform. And their magic abilities are all somewhat similar, right?
Yep.
So what they see in Asta, they're like, he's a threat, right? And not just that, but a threat to all humanity.
How? Like how? Like he will become evil and use the key against them,
hmm
or like
Think about it. He could have went evil. He could have went evil, but he didn't, right? He
yeah,
didn't.
he couldn't go being evil.
Because we know from the manga and the anime, let's say just the anime in itself, that he wanted to be the Wizard King, right? He had no evil intentions. All he wanted to do was become the next Wizard King so that he could rule over the Clover Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
And this and that, and not without any hateful intentions.
Huh. You're right.
I mean, I lay it out pretty simple. I mean, that's exactly how it was in the anime. But with this what if, this what if is, the Yami clan catches up to him and his family. They end up his parents end up fighting them and stuff, right? Well, in the
Yep.
process, right? So we know that Yami is from that country, right? He washes shore on the Clover Kingdom, right? And from there he joins a squad, right? At the time, and it's the Deer Squad, right? It's a smaller squad. It isn't like the Black Bulls or anything, but it's a smaller squad, right? He's new
Yeah.
to it. He's young, and they happen to be close in the area, and they get dispatched to the fighting that's happening, right? They notice that the fighting's happening, so they end up going that way, right? And by the time they get there, the Yami clan members have already slain Asta's mom and dad.
Dang.
Oh yeah, it's straight brutal.
We're going dark real quick.
This is a what if, you know what I mean? It's not no whole plot and this and that, and they end up going, and Yami notices these people. Now, these other members in that Deer Squad, they don't know who these guys are. They never seen them before, never had to deal with them, because we know, you don't really know much about Yami. Let's say the people that come from the rising sun, they don't really know much about them other than what they know a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So they're they're fighting, and Yami, being young at the time and being able to understand and know their key and the way they fight, he ends up helping fighting them and then chase them off, right, before they can kill Asta, because they
Okay. So
show
that
up right
you
at the
you
time.
you already changed the whole like upside down.
Mm-mm. This is what a what if is. This is what
Yeah.
a what if is. You know what I mean? There's a plot behind it. It's totally opposite than what the anime and what the manga puts. It's a whole different perspective we
Yeah, but
see.
why will Asta parents be in the Rising Sun continent?
That's where they're from,
Yeah, but why would it be escaping and they try to kill him besides Asta like being evil?
because they believe he's evil and he has this really dark hidden key within him that's really bad, and they see it as a threat. So what they do is they
Okay.
try to eliminate them, but his parents knew about it, so they were trying to give him a better life, somewhere where he can live, because he's different. You know what I mean? We know that we know that the Yami clan and stuff that live there, um, they're black hair. They look like Yami and stuff like that. They're basically they're samurai. You know what I mean? They're Japanese. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you look at the geographics of it, it's Japan basically, but it's called the Land of the Rising Sun. I mean, wink, wink. We all know it's Japan. He's from Japan. Those people are like samurais. They're wielding swords and all that stuff, right? And you got Asta with the his hair is not even the same color. Probably facial features. He's like this oddball out of all these people, and they're like, he's got to be a bad omen. We got to take him out,
Just
right?
because of his hair.
Exactly. So they decide, hey, we need to take him out. So the Yami clan is dispatched. They send some members to take him out, some, let's say, hitmen, and they get intercepted in the Clover Kingdom by the Deer Squad. That's Yami's squad that he's a part of. And he ends up fighting them off, chasing them off. And at the same time, they save Asta before he gets eliminated, before he gets murdered. And they don't know what to do with them other than they know there's an orphanage nearby, right? So Yami sees him, helps, brings Asta to the orphanage. And of course, at the same time, is everything else is kind of playing around, right? So he ends up at the orphanage, and that's from there. That's where he grows up to the point where he becomes this age before he joins the Black Bulls, and then that's where he Yami sees him again, right?
Okay, okay, okay.
Decides
I'm
to,
following your story now.
now you're kind of getting my drift, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kind of ties back in, and Yami sees him, but he kind of we know the process of Yami's like oh you want to join a squad, but you know what I mean? What do you have the benefit of joining the Black Bulls or even a squad? You know what I mean? And I think that's just because Yami remembers him, but he just doesn't want to make it known like, hey, I remember you. You're a kid. He just makes it look like, oh, you're a nobody. You know what I mean? I didn't get this far by being somebody.
Yeah,
But tying in that, because we know that Asta had another during the manga and anime, Asta was not the only kid that ended up at that orphanage.
yeah. He wasn't.
He wasn't. So you know it was his pal.
You know.
And they were both there at the same time. Seeing how one being noticed as a bad omen and one being seen as a good omen at the same time at the orphanage. It's crazy to think that if he was just there on the land of rising sun, he would
Yeah.
his skills would be astronomical. Because we
Yeah.
know that he gets, yeah, he ends up there, yeah, as he's older, right? He ends up there and he ends up getting trained there. And he ends up getting trained on how to read ki and how to be a better swordsman.
So he will have almost the style of Yami if he was born there and stays in the Rising Sun,
Mm-hmm.
but he wouldn't have a Gromar.
Oh no, I would well, if you think about it, yes, he wouldn't have a grimoire if
A
he
Grimoire. Oh, sorry.
yeah, I would say if we didn't go the route where his family took him and brought him to Clover Kingdom, I don't think he would ever have a grimoire because he originally didn't have one. So I don't think he would. I think he would be a good fighter and everything, but he just wouldn't have that grimoire to do any type of spells or anything like that. But that being said, him actually having a grimoire and that anti-magic sword and understanding how to use it and properly fight with it, being trained by the people in the land of the rising sun. So
Yep.
saying that he's being trained by his own people, right? And at the time, those who are around him teaching him don't know anything that happened when he was a kid. It was all an inside thing, you know.
Yeah.
So now he's being trained from them, and we know that Yami, when he fights, dude, he's not somebody to mess around with. He don't play.
Yeah. He doesn't play.
His abilities and stuff like that are different compared to anybody in the Clover Kingdom.
Well, he can cut through space.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like his abilities, his abilities are probably no, I wouldn't say probably known. They're known where he's from, right? and they know everything that he's gonna do and all that stuff. They know as to being in the Clover Kingdom, or let's say the Spade Kingdom, or any other kingdom. They're like, we don't know what he's capable of. We don't know how powerful he is, and just overall, he's doing something that we're not used to seeing at all.
Yep.
So you're seeing Asta in that type of area, in that type of training. He's got some new tricks up his sleeve.
No, isn't that what the manga is doing, right? Did a few chapters ago where uh Asta was transferred to the Rising Sun
Yeah,
continent,
yeah.
and
He
he's
ended up there
training.
after his last big battle, and everyone thought he was dead, but he wasn't dead. He was kind of teleported there.
He got easy cut.
Yeah, it's like we couldn't end him like this, but they are drawing closer to ending Black Clover with the manga.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for them to kick back into making the new seasons of the anime for the manga, but who knows? And that's just just a little bit behind it. It's first part, our first Black Clover. What if it's just a little bit on it? I just think that there's a lot more that goes to it. But overall, that's all I have. Excuse me. And that's it. But yeah, we appreciate y'all sticking around and watching. We look forward to making more. We've got to figure out what other what ifs are coming up in store. But
yeah.
we'll
Maybe
catch
we
you
make
guys.
no sense. Maybe we are crazy.
Yeah, maybe we are crazy. Maybe we are. We don't know half the time. That's what crazy people think. But we appreciate it, and we will catch everyone later.
Good night.